Giants pick 23rd tonight, 23rd overall, round one in Philadelphia. Who will the pick be? Jordan Raanan joins us. He is a beat reporter, ESPN, and well-regarded when it comes to info on the G-Men, and that's who we reach out to this morning here on Big Board Sports. Jordan Raanan with us on Big Board Sports. Jordan, Roger Weiland, Chris Honorado in Albany. Good morning.
Right there.
Good morning. What did you say, Jordan?
Very kind intro right there. I like it.
I'm always kind to my guests because you know what, Jordan, I want you to
sound like I'm good or something.
Well, yeah, you are, and I want you to come back too. So try to pump you up. Make sure the next time we bug you, you'll say, "Yeah, we'll go back on that show."
There's always an end game.
Jordan, what's your thoughts here when the Giants pick comes around at 23rd?
Yeah, I mean, it's really. I mean, when you pick 23rd, there's a lot of stuff that can happen beforehand, right? So it's sort of, let's see how the board falls. Go with a guy who, is near the top of the board, guy that they like, and it kind of marries need in there. So there's a lot of options, right? Because they don't have, I don't know. You look at their roster, it's not like they absolutely can't survive if they don't get X position. They gave themselves some flexibility. I mean, granted, I don't think a lot of people are extremely confident in their offensive tackle position. But they at least have three guys that they believe they can throw out there in the hope of finding something that works. So gives them flexibility, but I still think when it comes down to it, the two names that I think are most likely are Florida linebacker Jared Davis and Utah offensive tackle LeGarrette Blount.
There's the tackle. I would love to see the Giants take tackle in round one. The question was, is there a tackle that grades out high enough for them to take, and you're telling us there is. Yeah,
but that's the only one, I think. And that's the only one I think that the Giants have that would marry, the right grade, the right spot, and the right position there. So, Garrett Bowles. I know he's going. People say, oh, he's going to be 25-year-old rookie. I get it. It's a little bit on the older side. He's 24 right now, but I went back and I looked at it in Jerry Reese's first draft, because I thought, okay, Jerry Reese is a history of taking really young guys, right? Like Eric Flowers was really young. JPP was really young. But you go back, you look at all his drafts, and you look back, finally got to the first one, and they picked Aaron Ross from Texas, right? And Aaron Ross was 24 years old, turning 25 for his rookie year. Same exact thing as Garrett Blount. And Jerry Reese flat out said the other day that they don't think that's a problem. They still think that's plenty young enough. Because if you think about it, 25, you get 6 good years out of your first-round pick, and everybody's happy, right? I mean, 6 years in the NFL, it's like 15-year NBA career pretty much.
At what point, Jordan, do the Giants give up on Flowers?
Not yet. It would have to be another bad year. I think they want to see, they want another year. I mean, I think they would like the flexibility, and I think that they're going to do this anyway. They're going to go into the spring, and the word that Jerry Reese used was experiment. They're going to throw everybody into the mix, and that means trying Eric Flowers at different spots, just trying everyone on the offensive line at different spots and see what they come out with and the best combination. So I think there's going to be a time, unless Eric Flowers is, they don't find the solution, and Eric Flowers is the left tackle full time and plays really well this year. There's going to be a time where he's going to get tested at other spots. Probably in the next, logical place is you start with right tackle. So I think that will be the progression. If it doesn't work at left tackle moving forward, there'll be a test at right tackle. If it don't see much at right tackle, last resort is guard, and then that's when you throw in the red flag, wave up the white flag, and say, "Okay, this didn't work out."
Hey, Jordan, Chris Honorado here with Roger as well. I'm not asking you to play Browns beat reporter here, but we're not in on these conversations the way you are. Around this time of year, how much do you believe not only what you're hearing, but what you're being told by team insiders, execs, that type of stuff?
The closer you get to the draft, I think I'm trying to stay away from looking at stuff today, and the less I'm trying to believe the people. You have to. This is our job, right? We have to vet sources and parse the truth from what people tell us. And I tend to rely on what I heard, in the last month, not what I'm going to hear at the last minute here. I'm hearing all kinds of crazy stuff about the Giants. It doesn't mean I'm going to report it. I'm going to report a portion of what I hear because I don't believe some of this stuff. So my job is to sit here and vet it. And I think the closer you get to the draft, the more the information you receive is inaccurate. And, everybody's chiming in from all different corners. You have to trust your top people, the people you trust the most, and go with that, because those are the people that more often than not are right or wrong. Somebody actually was telling me they chart down all the stuff that people tell them every year, and they go back and look at it the next year and see who lied to them and who didn't lie to them. It's a great idea. It really is. It's a great idea. I'm definitely going to use that next year. I did not keep good track, but that is a tremendous idea. And it helps you because moving forward, you want to know who are your A1 people, who you can trust and who you can't trust.
Jordan Raanan with us, covers the Giants for ESPN, and with us here on Big Board Sports. A name, Jordan, that I have heard more than once, and I've seen on some mock drafts. So let me ask you, I'll throw this name at you, is Zach Cunningham, linebacker, Vanderbilt, at 23 tonight. Is that a possibility?
I think so. I think it depends on how the board falls, but if Jared Davis is there, my impression is that the Giants are higher on Jared Davis, the Florida linebacker, than they are on Cunningham.
Okay.
But yeah, if Jared Davis isn't there, then all of a sudden, yeah, I think Cunningham is a nice option, a rangy linebacker. That's about his graded range. So, late first round, early second round. The Giants are picking 23, and he has a pretty good upside, and he was productive in college, and doesn't have a big injury history. So he checks off a lot of those boxes. So I think that's definitely a player that has attracted interest from them. Jerry Reese was not at his pro day by an accident. It was not, how often do you think Jerry Reese is going to the Vanderbilt pro day?
Yeah, I don't, I would say no on that. I tell you one thing Jerry Reese did say though, leading up to this draft, is he has looked at more quarterbacks, leading up to draft than he has in a very long time. Could you see the Giants round 2, round 3 taking a quarterback?
Yeah, I think the quarterbacks ultimately are going to be overdrafted. So, I don't really think I could see the Giants taking the interesting part is round 1 is if there's going to be 3, maybe 4 quarterbacks in the first round, in my estimation, with Davis Webb, a surprise guy who either is going to go late 1 or early 2. But that's not a guy the Giants would be interested in. But if Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes were sitting there at 23, that's the intriguing part to me.
Wow.
Not that I think that they would pull the trigger, right? But I just think that there would be a discussion in that room, and you have to have that discussion when the time comes around of, do we pull the trigger on the guy right now? Look, he's 36. He's going to be 37 before the year's out. At some point, you have to go in that direction. And if everyone, I know not everyone, because not everyone's going to agree, but if a lot of people in that room are sold on him, on either of those guys, I think you think about doing it. I mean, the time is going to come when they have to do it. And I know people are like, well, they're close. They're in win now mode. You're probably going to say the same thing next year and the year after. You're going to keep saying they're in win now mode. They're win now. And, for the future of the franchise, at some point, you're going to have to do it. And the odds are, look, if you take a quarterback in the second or third round, the odds of them becoming a Pro Bowl quarterback are automatically cut in half from first rounders. That's what the odds are. I think I came out the last 20 years, 36% of first-round quarterbacks drafted turned into Pro Bowlers, which isn't a great number either. Then it drops to 18 in the second round and even lower to 12 in the third round. So you're 12% of the guys drafted in the third round actually become Pro Bowl starters. And Pro Bowl is not, it's not the highest standard in the world these days. Alex Smith is a several-time Pro Bowl quarterback. So, you're talking about 12%. So that means basically 1 out of 10 quarterbacks drafted in the third round actually become good starters. Not great odds.
Well, Jordan, I hope
I
you're
that. I like that.
That's a good stat. I hope you're right on O-line. I really do. I would, if the player you're talking about is there and the Giants take him, I think that would be a really good pick because I think they need to continue to improve up front on the O-line for all the obvious
it would
reasons.
It would help everybody. Look, right? It would help Eli, who's an aging quarterback. That's the reality. He's 36, 37 years old. He's an aging quarterback, never moved well in the first place, right? It would help their running game. Bad running game last year. I don't think anyone's going to argue that. They finished 29th in the NFL in rushing. Not good. It'll help their passing offense. It'll help them get the ball to their strength of the team, which right now is Odell Beckham, Sterling Shepard, and Brandon Marshall. Those are the wide receiving targets. So, there's a lot of benefits. And when you look at the Giants last year, what was the problem with this team? Their offense just really wasn't good enough. Everybody knew it. The whole season, it just wasn't good enough. They did not score enough points, but they finished 26th in the league. It wasn't good enough. And so, they got to improve on that. And the offensive line will help them in a lot of different ways, on top of the fact that they already signed Rhett Ellison, a tight end, who they essentially is going to be an extension of that offensive line because he's their blocking tight end, and that's kind of what they view him as. So that's one offensive line addition. DJ Fluker was another. Who knows how that's going to work out? He's kind of a crapshoot. But, getting a guy in the first round would be greatly beneficial to that offense, which needed a boost after last year.
Hey, Jordan, real quick, man, what's the latest on the Giants and LeGarrette Blount? Are the Giants going to draft a running back over the weekend, or are they going to go with a veteran guy to help fill the backfield with Perkins?
I think they're going to see how the draft pans out. They don't feel like they have to. Look, that's the benefit of this, right? There's guys like that out there you could always fill that hole with. But if you find a guy that you really like and then comes around in the right part of the draft, you can go that way. So I think that's the benefit of not making that move right now and kind of waiting on it and being patient, because you could see if you find that guy in the draft. And if you don't find that guy in the draft, then you go over to free agency, and the LeGarrette Blount is at, near the top of that list. And if not him, there's a couple other veteran running backs out there, and that's the route that you can go to fill that, what you consider a void, which is a sort of power back, bigger, more physical option than Paul Perkins is. So I think that's how the Giants are going to approach this, and they'll see kind of what happens. They're not going to press on running backs, but if the right guy's there that they like, there's a lot of running backs in this draft. This is a very strong running back draft, so we'll see what happens there.
Always a fun night, Jordan Raanan. Appreciate a few minutes here on Big Board Sports, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Thanks, Jordan.
You got it, guys. Anytime.